Hey everybody, it's Drake. This is Two Hoodies and Three Cats. I had some time this afternoon and decided to do some recording. And I'm doing something that I haven't done in a while. I'm doing a Rin track without Bone. I did the three Money Game Part 1, 2, and 3 without Bone. And everybody's kind of wanting us to do them together so he can check them out. And haven't done it yet. We're going to get around to it. I'm just having trouble with copying content. So this is Rin Depression official lyric video. I couldn't find another video for it. So, but I'm expecting this to be pretty great. Depression is something we all go through. We all deal with it. We all struggle with it for all different kinds of reasons. I'd be here all day talking about what causes depression. It's different for everybody, and different things hit different people differently. And sometimes you could think you're over a certain particular topic, and you hear a song, or somebody walks by, or you see a face, or you look at something that reminds you of this or that, and it brings the depression right back again. So sometimes depression is never ever gone. It's just buried. Something that a lot of us struggle with, and we all have inner fights with it. So I'm really interested to see what this track is like. I figure this will be something helpful for those that are having trouble with their inner selves and problems. So let's get right into this. If it's your first time to the channel, consider subscribing. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you got any comments or you want to share any of your own feelings or stories, feel free to do it in the comments below. And here we go.
My thought patterns are composed by a time bomb for an author, like pigs to the slaughter. A symphony of self-doubt sings out, breath starts getting shorter. Running water is the state that I wish to become. Instead, concrete envelops my movement and I'm rendered deaf and dumb, unable to heed the advice of others.
That's interesting. That whole concept. He said that I want to be like water, but unable to heed the advice. But I gotta back that up so I can read the lyric. That was he said. Running water is the state that I wish to become. And at first I'm like, what is he talking about? And the next line is like, instead, concrete envelops my movement and I am rendered deaf and dumb. So he's basically unable to move. If you think about depression sometimes makes you unable to function. You're just paralyzed. Sometimes all you want to do is lay in bed or sit on a couch or a chair or curl up in a fetal position and not move at all. I mean, depression can be overwhelming. But water, that's how he said how he wants to become. Water is something that's can't be controlled. It moves in spaces and it finds its way to flow through. Obviously, if you put it in a bowl, it's going to sit in the bowl, but it's still free to move about. Where concrete is stopped. That's a very interesting kind of take. I got to back this up now, and we'll get back into this.
My thought patterns are composed by a time bomb for an author, like pigs to the slaughter. A symphony of self-doubt sings out, breath starts getting shorter. Running water is the state that I wish to become. Instead, concrete envelops my movement and I'm rendered deaf and dumb, unable to heed the advice of others. Don't tell me things will get better, cause so far things haven't gotten better. I've got the...
That's so crazy. As you can be... I've been in positions of depression where I've been like, people would tell me, hey, you just got to get back up and go to work, go do what you got to do. Everything's going to get better. In my head, nothing's getting better. And then I've been in a position where I've told other people, you're going to be all right. It's just going to take some time. But you know what? When you're in it and it's all right up here, somebody telling you it's going to get better and you're going to be fine, that's just not helping. You need someone that is willing to just sit there with you or listen to you. And sometimes we want to fix things And we don't realize that what we really need to do is just be there physically and not say anything and just listen if that person has something to say and back it up again.
Tell me things will get better, cause so far things haven't gotten better. I've got the sweater, poster child, bipolar, ADHD, therapist, wet dream. I don't wanna talk about my father, I don't wanna talk about my dead friend, I don't wanna talk about myself. I'm sick of talking about myself, I'm sick of talking about myself and realizing that talking about myself never ever helps. Still, I call for help, cause I really want help. But the pills didn't seem to help, and the therapist didn't seem to help. But still, I want help. I've danced with the devil in hell. I've sat in a prisonless cell.
Wow. We've talked on this channel multiple times about medication that they prescribe for people with ADHD or hyperactivity or all these different names they have it for it. When I was younger, I was diagnosed with, at the time it was hyperactivity, now it'd be ADHD. And the doctor wanted to put me on Ritalin. And my mom and dad were like, no, you're not putting him on Ritalin. And I have friends that were on Ritalin. And then I have some friends like myself that were never put on the drugs. I have a very overstimulated imagination and a brain that's constantly going and sometimes has trouble being for quiet times. And I tend to get into my head a lot. But I'll tell you that medication is not the answer. You got to challenge those people that have what you call ADHD and all this, because you got to challenge them, and they can generally handle more activities and can focus and prioritize multiple places at once better than most normal people. Most normal people have trouble just dealing with one task and not being able to, I got to finish it, don't talk to me, I'm working on this. Some people are able to carry on 2 conversations at once. Some people can handle multiple tasks at one time. I would tell you that I think that those people that have ADHD or hyperactivity or whatever you want to call this disorder, as they call it, it's not a disorder. It's people that are able to function in multiple layers in different ways. It's just harnessing and understanding how it works. I can't believe that medicating a child or a person to a point of like a state of almost like is the way to go. Sat in a prisonless cell. Wow, that lyric that I stopped at on the screen. I've sat in a prisonless cell. It's your brain. You are the prisonless cell because you're stuck in your head on some drugs they gave you. And the whole thing where he's sitting here talking about, I don't want to talk about myself anymore. I don't want to talk about my dad. I don't want to talk about my dead mother, my dead dad, my friend that died last year. I don't want to talk about any of that. And that was referencing me there. It's, all it does is just bring up feelings of pain that I'm never going to be over. It's just stuff that I need to push away. But you want help to cope. But talking about yourself only keeps opening the wound and ripping the Band-Aid off, and then you just keep reliving it over and over again, when actually what you need to do is you need to find a way to cope with these things. You need to be able to understand what it is that you're dealing with so you can cope with it and figure out how to compartmentalize it, not bury it into a trap in your inside you where it's going to wake up one day and it's going to be a breakdown. But you've got to find a way to have that part of you and understand it and become better for it while it's not paralyzing you and you can move forward. And I personally don't think that the answer to that is drugs. And I'm willing to bet you money that Ren agrees and that drugs is not an answer for any of this stuff. But it isolates people and makes us feel alone. The fact that somebody like Ren and some of the other artists that I follow are brave enough to talk about this stuff, it makes you realize that you're not alone. Everybody goes through these problems. It's a normal part of human mindset and life, and that you just gotta figure a way to kind of get through it. I wonder if he's got some answers. Let's see.
Myself. I'm sick of talking about myself and realizing that talking about myself never ever helps. Still, I call for help because I really want help. But the pills didn't seem to help, and the therapist didn't seem to help. But still, I want help. I've danced with the devil in hell. sat in a prisonless cell, and here I always dwell, in this prison in my soul. I do this thing when my mind travels back to the golden age. You know those times where you were carefree and everything was golden? The golden age. You know those times where everything was golden, where you were carefree and everything was golden? The hardest thing I ever had to do was come to terms with the fact that that time never really existed. I've always felt so fucking detached and broken, bruised and mismatched.
Wow. The golden years are when you're a child. At least that's what they tell you. When you're a little kid, you don't have to worry about anything. You're running around outside, you're playing. You're getting in trouble, you're getting grounded, you're getting yelled at. And they all go, that was the best time. You just sped through it. You were so waiting to be older. And I tell people all the time that are younger, don't look at that age that you need to get to. Enjoy today. 'Cause tomorrow isn't promised. And do what you can today. But wow, he's hitting some pieces here that really kind of hit home. The golden years, and there wasn't really even golden years. It's crazy. No, wow. Because when you look at a life of a child, you're constantly told what to do, and you got to be in house now. You can't do that. You can't ride your bike over there, but you can ride it over here. You can play with the ball, but it has to stay in the yard. You can have the dog outside, but it can't go over there. And everybody's so it's just like might be reading more into this than I should be, but that's just what I'm getting from it. So I apologize to anybody that thinks I'm rambling over here. I apologize. Here we go. Let's go.
Golden age. You know those times where everything was golden, where you were carefree and everything was golden? The hardest thing I ever had to do was come to terms with the fact that that time never really existed. I've always felt so fucking detached and broken, bruised and mismatched. Find it hard to relax, living under the cracks. Tried to fill in the gaps, lying here on my back. Still, I can't find it. Sense of peace in my mind declined it. Pulse increase and my sweat combines with a feeling so deep I fall inside it. Depression, I hate you, depression. Your constant oppression, respond with aggression. They say depression brings you lessons. Constant stressing conceals blessings. You will grow in broken settings. Fuck those lessons, fuck depression. I've been living in your shadow for so long that I forgot how I can shine. How I can find a refuge in my mind. How am I meant to sit here and unwind? The planets align. I feel like I'm cursed. Feel like I'm cursed to just be here to hurt. Feel like I'm cursed to just be here to bleed with my demons. Been feeling this way since birth. Depression, I hate you. 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 Depression, I hate you.
Okay, that was emotionally intense, and the whole kind of feeling he had with it, you could tell he's like fighting back tears when he's talking about "I hate you," depression. Because watching enough Ren and listening to the fans and the people that have come here and helped us and talked to us and the comments I've gotten in the different videos, that he's gone through it. Like he's gone through it. You know, on the pain side, I know the man is in pain all the time too with some of the problems he has with his body. Wow, that was I even said it there. He's like, you're trapped in your own mind, a prisonless cell in your own head. And you know, the doctor's not going to help you. Reality is, people spend all this money on. I went to see my therapist. I didn't, but I mean, in reality, people go and they sit on a couch and talk to somebody. You're paying somebody to sit there and listen to you, and then kind of play devil's advocate on a couple different areas. Because we get to a point where, this is something that Bone and I have talked about, and it's a big issue, I think, in society that a lot of people just overlook, and it's that parent and child relationship. Parent-child relationship when they're little, when you're young. Your parent, your mom and your dad, they brought you in the world, and in the homes that are together and it's stable, they stay a pretty positive influence until your late teenage years, early adult years, right around the early 20s, where you start finding friends and you stop and confiding in your parents. And you start doing things out and about. But somewhere along the way, there becomes a disconnect where even those of us that were brought up in the most positive environments stop going and confiding 100% and having treating our parents like our friends, and the ability to conversate. Something occurs somewhere in that time frame, in late teens, early 20s, where we no longer look at our parents as someone that we could go talk to about anything, because we start getting involved in uncomfortable things. Sex, drugs, relationships that go south, decisions we make that we feel like if we talk to our parents about it, they will look at us differently, or that we will have failed in their eyes, or we won't be living up to the self-image that they put on us that we need to be. And I don't know if it's a parent problem or a child problem or some communication breakdown in the middle, but I honestly think that if parents can have more of a friend-like relationship with their children, especially when they're in that late teenage years, early 20s, when we start making decisions that bring some really, really horrible consequences if we don't handle it correctly, it would really help everybody out, because your parent ultimately should be the one that has the looking out for you the most, more than anybody else, but we always go run to somebody else. My therapist just wants your money. They're going to tell you what they think they need to tell you. Obviously, they're trying to help you because you're paying them to help you. But at the end of the day, they only know what you're willing to tell them, and we're all only willing to tell people certain things. Really, there's certain things that you're just never going to tell people. There's things you struggle with in your head that you feel is so bad and so dark that you just, I can't, they'll look at me differently. I can't say anything about that. This whole topic of depression is something that everybody deals with, and we all struggle with it, and there's no easy answers. And it's really most of it is 99%, I'd say 95% of it is figuring out and learning how to deal with it ourselves. The other 5% is where you can talk to other people that have dealt with it and can tell you what they did and how they dealt with it and what worked for them. Understanding that drugs and alcohol might not be the answers that you should run to first, but it ends up being the answers that most people go to. And that's a whole nother problem as well. But anyway, this is a pretty emotional track. I really liked it. It's different from the others. Really makes you stop and think. I was right on point from the very beginning. If you guys want to add any more info down below, that'd be great. But I'm going to get out of here. This is Ren Depression, the official lyric video. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video, guys. Have a great day.